gonna deal with it. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yep.
It's
Can you
impressive.
Sign a copy of Jiffy Jamber for me? No. I can sign my champ card.
Apparently, they've sold out of almost all of the Crimson Rampage from their first run, or whatever Asmodee's first run was, right? I don't know.
Sure.
You could probably still get some from Legendary Wolf Games. You know, I know Rochester probably still has some, but everybody I'm talking to, like stores and stuff like that, are just like, yeah, we're out. There's one store locally that bought like 2 cases, and they're struggling to sell it because they just won't promote the game. And like they reached out to me and they're like, hey, how do we sell this stuff? And I'm like, well, promote the game. It's not that hard. You know, like I sold 72 boxes in a week. You know, like
Yeah.
it's not actually that hard. And so they're like talking about just like using it to run events, and I'm like, I think that's, people don't care about that. They just want like store credit, you know?
I would be, yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't really like entering events in stores, but I understand I'm part of the problem, so.
You don't like what events in stores?
I just don't like entering events.
Huh.
I don't know.
You don't like
if
locals?
I had a week, yeah, I don't really care that much.
That's fair. I mean, you know, actually, I think like I'm very different from like the usual, because when I go to locals and I'm playing in events, I don't care about winning. I'm just trying to like grow the community, right?
Sure.
And it like it's whatever game. Like, of course, we want to do as well as possible, but my philosophy is just like I want to like grow the game. I want to show people this awesome thing that I like to do, and like meet people and have fun, right? You know, go to dinner afterwards, whatever. And so like for me, I would love like tavern play, you know, where it's just like everybody shows up and you play as many people as possible. If you want to report and stuff, whatever, but everybody gets the same thing. But because people love store credit and they want it to be like results based, then you kind of have to run tournaments. So
people love winning.
Yeah, they do love winning.
They want to be like, I was the best this week.
Yeah, I get that. It's just I'm very different from like the regular person,
Sure.
because like if I'm gonna play at a competitive event, I want to like travel to like a big event and like test your mettle against the best in the country or whatever the fuck, you know. Locals are like whatever, you know. Like if I travel, like, you know, I have gone to like other like states or whatever, and I've like showed up at their locals and like tried to beat the shit out of them, because I think that's fun to like show up and clean the clock out of somebody. But like if it's my local, you know, like at a certain point it gets kind of boring for like the same people just be like playing the same decks every week. Like we had that problem locally at the beginning of my hero set 1, where like I showed up 1 week with Kirishima on Void, just like testing, and like I played into somebody and then they just played Kirishima on Void for 4 months afterwards. And
that's
like,
pretty funny.
And like, you know, and like Goose likes to win, so he was playing Eraserhead a lot of the time. And like at some point I was like, hey Goose, these new players are not having any fun. We should probably be playing other decks. Yeah, and then he did. He showed up with like different decks, or like he'd show up and he'd be like, hey Bromley, give me a deck, right? And I'd hand him something, you know, hand him Punch Planner or something like that, right? So like
Ojiro.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like my philosophy is different. Like of course we want to like play to a high level, and we want to show these new players and everybody else that you can play to a high level and like what can be attained and all that jazz. But like, what I'm trying to express is that my wants for a local is very different from like what the average card players want for a local is, and so like I need to, you know, we need to temper our expectations where it concerns that.
I think it's fair. I just am like, I don't know. Even like store credit doesn't like seem. It's just like, you know.
To me, if I get store credit, I just use it to pay for snacks. You know.
Yeah, I usually just use it to pay for entry to things, snacks, or like.
Yeah, like going infinite
like
is super
sleeves.
fun, right? Yeah, I love to go infinite for sure.
And I'm like, I love sleeves. Woohoo!
Oh, Levi's in chat. Shield. What's up, Levi? My boy.
Rick, are you just naming things in the card store?
Yes.
That was an Anchorman reference for everybody at home. Apparently my 2 co-hosts didn't get it.
No, lost it. Lost on me.
And that's fair.
I love lamp joke. That's good.
Part of my thing, Tim, is that like I test so much because I work from home, and my working from home is usually done pretty early in the day, right? Because it's like sales right now, and like I'm not doing a whole lot. Like honestly, I'm not doing a whole lot. It's just like prepping for doing stuff. So, you know, if I'm not researching, or I get to like stay up late and play 1,000 card games with Tamren Cardwell and Barrett Bryan and Jose and stuff, right? So like my testing isn't done locally; it's done online on like tabletop simulators. So I can see that, right? Like if you're, but like in a tournament, like a local tournament, I don't think that's where like I do my iterating. Like I just want to sit and play the same deck against somebody for like 3 hours, right? That's typically how I do my testing. So it's like I can see like Tim, who has like an actual like big boy job, and he's you know, living his fucking life.
Yeah, Tim.
And he doesn't have all the time in the world to do stuff, right? Then you need to do that, right? Because if you want to do iterating and you don't have the time to do the amount of testing that like I do, then yeah, you must use your locals for it. That's like your designated time for the week. Like that's basically what Flesh and Blood is. Like I do with Flesh and Blood. I don't test with Flesh and Blood. I just show up with a deck and I'm like, oh, is this good? If it's good, it's good, right? So
for fun.
Exactly. Yeah. So like I can see that being the case for some people. And then Symbiotic Carnage in chat says, I don't mind people bringing the same decks to win every week, but when your casual player wants to actually play for fun and it becomes an issue for the community, then I think that's when the competitive players should consider bringing something different and do your testing with your play group. Yeah, I think that's an important distinction to make. Like, it's a talk thing, right? Like store owners or community leaders or whatever can have those like conversations with the fun players, you know? Like, yeah.
I remember I was
What are your thoughts, Cam?
I was testing for some nationals, and I was playing against a friend who made a casual deck because I don't think they were going, and I brought Lord Raptor, and we played 4 games in a row, and I just didn't let him touch me once. Yeah, it was very cool, and I had a lot of fun. And he went out and he smoked, and I went out with him, and he goes, "Can I say something?" I was like, "Yeah, man." He goes, "You let me have no fun in that game. It was not a game." And I was like, huh. He goes, obviously your deck is better than mine. How about you let me do some things that aren't impactful so I feel like I get to play the game and then still beat me? Could you do that? And I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And so it really was about like I'm not saying you have to like slow roll everybody that you play, right? Like the bad kids, like if you've got some 12-year-old there who's playing their starter deck Bakugo and they opened a DLC Ochako and then just like windmill slammed her on top, yeah, let her get a game, right? That's okay. Definitely one of my locals did that as like their first time at the event, and I totally let her. I did not block one thing one time, and she stole the game. And then it was so close. I got it right at the last 5-minute mark, because like I played the game with the person, and that was more about like sharing an experience with that person as opposed to just like, I'm just gonna slam you, throw my backpack on, and then just like stand and stare at everybody like any trades. It's like that's not really the card game that we play.
Yeah,
or not the card game with the environment we're trying to foster.
I guess as somebody who is going to, and I mean this is super off topic of the topics you have, but as somebody who is going to have a local now, like they're gonna be moving it to a day that I can actually go, and it's gonna be a fucking bunch of newbies.
Love that.
It's gonna be definitely an adjustment period, because I'm certainly going to show up to there with like fucking Kurigiri and not let them do anything for like a week, and then be like, I should probably build. No, I should probably build the shitty Mina 2 deck.
I think you should build Mina 2 and hide your power level for a bit. You know, and then like
I got a test for a regional probably, and I can't play on TTS, man.
Well, I mean, I'll play with you on webcam. I'll do whatever is necessary. I'm just saying, you go to the local and you hide your fucking power level, man.
Honestly, though, if I do pull out 4 copies of fucking Mina's Ultra, I'm so down to just slam Mina 2 into people at locals. I think that deck is gonna be silly willy. But yeah, it's gonna be like an experience for sure, where it's definitely a bunch of new people, and then hopefully Mitchell shows up so I can play some actual games maybe with him during. But yeah, it should be cool. I mean, I'm looking forward to it for the first time in a while, because it'll be the first time I have a local that's not 40 minutes away from me. I never had one close anyway.
So Daniel is like an anomaly, right? Like one of those new players who shows up, gets blown through the beater, right? Plays against all these people who are playing all the meta decks, and then like comes out playing really well, right? You know, wins a provisional, tops several other ones, you know, with several different decks. And like that's a good thing, right? But that's not par, right? You know, like that's not the usual thing. Like that's certainly what happened when I started playing. like I showed up and I got my ass beat for 6 straight weeks and loved it, right? Because I was just trying to do stupid shit, and if I got my stupid shit off once, I was having fun, and then just like, you know, eventually I was able to build decks that were like killing people. But like I took a very much the opposite approach with Jose, and then like when he was like, hey, I'm ready to like play the real shit, then we like leveled up the gameplay, and I didn't let him touch me for 3 months, you know. But he opted into that, right? Like he chose it, right? I think your locals were assholes, just like my locals were assholes when I started playing. But I enjoyed it, you know. I was like all about it. Most new players are not about that, and I've seen tons of players locally, people who I like a lot, who dropped the game because my locals are like filled with spikes, you know.
It's actually the exact same thing with martial arts. There's a lot of martial arts studios that go in, and if you are like a doe, the coin phrase was dungeon doe. If you had to go into some dude's basement and he only ever takes on 3 students ever, and he beats your ass with a stick until your front stance was better, you're gonna take every 8-year-old and you're gonna scare him out of there, and you just can't have a business that way. Like, it's just not possible. Which is why like new age martial arts it's much happier, nicer. Everybody's super friendly, chill, and pog, and like like here's 10 colorful belts as you proceed up through the rankings and whatever. Like it's the same type of mentality.
That's
and
fair.
When
actually,
when you do Fortnite dances with them,
my jiu-jitsu studio didn't have belts. It was just like we showed up on Wednesdays and got our asses beat. So that's a
jiu-jitsu thing for sure. That's
I was like, that doesn't sound very fun, Bromley.
It was awesome. I loved it. I was having a fun time. I got thrown around. It was awesome. Yeah. I was the happiest 11-year-old ever.
I love it.
The big thing that I've suggested about this, and this only works if you have fostered a community big enough to do this, is actually to run 2 separate events at the same time.
Actually, like the casual event. You would need at least like a 20-person local around 16 to 20.
We were able to do it with 12.
Okay.
12 to 13 was the cutoff. And we had people jump up, and then depending on how people do in the weeks, we would like let that 6th, 7th place like switch spots, depending on like, who wants to be in the big kids league, and then run it that way.
Oh, I hate that though. I don't like this separating the good players from the casual players.
I think it's fine.
So
if it's
it worked really well for us.
Yeah,
it worked really well for us, and we asked beforehand. It wasn't just like confirmed, right? But it really let like the new players learn the mechanics of the game, and it didn't hold back the people who were hard testing. So both sides of the bracket got what they wanted out of it. They held the same events, and here's the big thing: since we had 2 events, and my store is blessed enough that we literally get a tournament kit every week. And so we would take every single tournament promo and we would disperse it throughout the 12 people that would play. And all the prizes would scale up towards the high end. So everybody's walking away with like 3-4 plus ultra packs every week.
Mm-hmm.
I've got so many plus ultra promos for trade or whatever for Vegas, by the way. Because of how lucky we were. But whenever we split the tournaments, the people who were in the second bracket who weren't going to get anywhere near top 8, there was a first place and they got victory packs, and like they felt good because like they did good in the little league bracket.
That's fair. It just feels like the marketing for that has to be like done right, because like making it the cool kids club is like cringe to me.
Sure.
I certainly
It was also like the 2 brackets were split with here's all your Universes veterans and here's all your new Universes kids.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember,
so that was your bracket.
I remember that happening with Flesh and Blood, where like the place that I go to typically, it was like it was like me and like 10 other guys and like their like girlfriends or like kids even some of the time. And we would just play like Blitz, which is like the baby league. And we were having fun. We were just like, like punching each other and having a good time. And then like I remember like it was probably like July, maybe August of last year, like the good players showed up and started demanding we played Classic Constructed and refused to play Blitz, and like they would all play with their best decks, and like all of the guys that I was playing with left. Like they just stopped playing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
rough.
And like the league was awesome for like, and like these players are like actually cool guys, right? But they just like they refused to like acknowledge that like the meta environment that we had developed, the community that I was like fostering there was like very casual. And so I even like talked to the store owner, and he was like, well, just have a second day, like Mondays is the blitz day, and then Saturday is going to be the classic constructed day. And they would still just show up and demand to play like draft and shit like that. And that's cringe. I don't like that, right? So like what you're talking about is like maybe a solution to that.
Excellent friend.
Thanks for the follow, Mr. Joe. But also I think you can do that by just like having like conversation. Like one of the problems I think was that the store owner just refused to have a conversation with the guys. Like he just didn't
for sure.
Like, hey guys, like stop beating up on these like these new players, these casual players. The casual players want to play too, and like you're bullying them into like not being able to play the format they want to play. Right. And he never did that because they were buying product or whatever, and like he was afraid to do that. And so like I think that you can achieve this the way you're talking about, right? Where you just like run separate leagues, or you could just like you can run maybe different days, right? You can also like gently guide people to do things, right? Because casual players love meme formats, in my opinion, right? They love when you're like, let's do ladies' night, right? Where you have to play a female character, or boys' night or whatever.
Perfect in My Hero.
Everybody has to play the life symbol,
night.
right? You have to play this thing, right? Like stuff like that is easy to build, and like fun, and you can do it in like you can do drafts, whatever the hell else, right?
Greetings, my excellent friend.
But and then you have your other day, or like maybe you do that once a month, and the rest of it is like the competitive leagues, and that's fine. But like my like perfect dream world scenario is one where you have like the competitive like once a month. That's like for all the marbles, and then every other week is actually just hangout night, where like you don't pay entry, right? But you show up. You fucking buy beer, you buy snacks, right? And then if you want promos, you just pay for the promos, right? Basically.
Yeah.
Like
think of it like a venue fee.
Exactly.
Yeah, almost like the fun fee, dude.
Yeah,
the
but you just hang out, right? You hang out, and so like
here's
this
a couple hours.
This only works if everybody is acting, in the Marxist pattern that I want them to, and that never happens, right? My dreamy scenario is one where like all the great players are like going and playing with other they're teaching the new guys, and they're doing their jobs and doing serving their responsibility to the community and all that stuff. But that's not what happens, right? What ends up happening is like the really good players test against each other, and the new players play against the new players, and there's no crossover. So like you need to run events, you need to do these things. So like I understand.
Yep.
My like ideation for like what it should look like is not realistic. It's not what it will look like. And so if you have a store that's like what I've described, where it's like the really meta players are driving away the new players, talk to your store owner and talk to the like the meta players too. Be like, hey guys, like there's a time to play for this. We can be like, hey, our community is so big, we can have like a competitive day, and we can have the casual day, because we want to also grow this community and get those casual players to the point where they can also be competitive players.
Yeah.
And if they never get to that point, they can still just do the casual day, And when you approach the casual day, don't show up with fucking, Jose's Asui list and just like suffocate the format,
Don't be a fucker.
Yeah, show up with Aoyama and like try to turn 2 people and then fail and then don't block for the next 3 turns. Like that's the thing, right? Hide the power level a little bit. Anyway, that's I know we've been talking about this for like 30 minutes, but it is an interesting and cool one to talk about, especially because like Phil is like the opposite of that, right? Phil's like, I need to test. Not gonna play it on TTS. You're like the opposite of me, right? Like I'm just gonna get testing as much as I can, and I have all this time, and I get to do that, right? But you don't have that opportunity. So when you're gonna go test, you're gonna try to go beat the shit out of people so you can understand your deck.
Yeah.
And
I want to be able to figure out what the fuck is happening.
Right. And that's okay. Like that's fine. But you also have to recognize that can have a negative impact on the like local environment.
I'm a pretty, I will say this though, in every Universes event that I've ever entered, if I play against clearly the worst player, I am a very gentle winner.
Oh yeah.
Like round 1, I play against somebody I've never heard of. I am the nicest winner of all time. I will let them do whatever they want. I will be like, hey, you You got to do these things. But like, yeah.
So, and this is a good like skill I think for people to just have in general is like winning gracefully or allowing your opponent to like feel. It's like the demo like skill set, right? Where you partial block things that you shouldn't. You like limit test your own stuff, and you can control a game without like suffocating somebody, right?
Yeah.
That's like a legitimate skill. I've definitely done that even in tournaments where I've like coached people to like kill me or like come close to killing me, or I'm like, hey, I think you should do this instead of this. And like even in a tournament, I think that's like a big tournament. I've done that at provisionals. I've done that at Worlds and Nationals.
Sure.
This happened with Ty Scott. First time I played Ty Scott, he was playing Liu Kang, and I cleaned his clock in the first game as Faye. The second game, I was like, hey man, you're playing this line wrong. Do this, this, this. And he did this, 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 and I died. And then I tied because I couldn't kill him in the third game fast enough.
That's fair.
But like that was like his first or second like big tournament, and like it was also my first big tournament. But like he was clearly new to like the Liu Kang thing, and so like, you know, sometimes even detrimentally. It's like an important thing I think for people.
That is a rough spot to be in, right? Is like looking like at a big event with stakes of like in which game do you tell your opponent you had lethal, right? I had that happen in the last provisional where my opponent played a plus ultra to put it to half block lethal on a throw or whatever, right? I don't remember the exact scenario, but I was dead if he passed the plus ultra.
Right.
He checked a 3, he could have committed everything to do it, and he goes, I guess that fails, and he puts it in his discard pile, and I go, you also have to discard the momentum. Like, that's a choice you made, and we're playing for stakes.
I did watch that. Yeah.
So it's like, I'm sitting here going, I'm dead, and then he missed a second line in that same turn. I was still dead, but he made the decision not to. At what point are you like just like playing the computer out to like, oh, you're supposed to kill me here, so I'll scoop my cards. It's interesting.
I had a similar situation in top 16. Actually, I played against a Tokiyami who should have killed me in the third game. He had an Ice Storm, and I had 4 attacks in my hand, and it was gonna be for lethal, but he just didn't powerful it. And so I was like, make it mid, and I'm like bluffing that I have a plus ultra, right?
Yeah,
right.
You're like, you won't
do it. I'm just bluffing, like actually just bluffing, and he goes through the motions. He doesn't powerful, and then I'm like, go to blocks, and he says yes. And then I say, take 8, go to 1. And he says, and this is the worst part, he's like, I had you at 6. And I was like,
oh,
no, I've taken 11, I'm at 9. And I went through the things. I was like, hey, let's bring the judge in to make sure. And you can unflip your momentum. That was a 5 damage attack that dealt 5 to me. And then I took 6 from the first one this move. I blocked the 2 middle ones. And then this is the 4th attack that was for 8. And he's like, yeah, I mean, the math is there. I should have powerfuled. And I was like, yeah. I mean, I was playing, like, I wasn't going to tell him to powerful, right? But I was playing around it, you know? Like, I was trying to bluff that I could block it to discourage him from using it, you know? Because sometimes people are just like, oh, he has the answer, so I'm not going to use this thing, right? So that's what I was trying to get, and it just ended up being, like, kind of shitty. But But speaking of the situation you're talking about, Tam, like, the opposite, like, I lost, or we lost that team match, I think. Or we tied, I think, something like that. And it's, like, a super fun memory for me because I did coach Ty to a win, and like when I talked to Ty, like he after that event, I think he was playing Mega Man in singles or something like that. No, he was playing bass. He was playing bass in singles. He had the time of his fucking life, and he came to me after singles because it goes teams into singles, and he was like, "Hey, dude, that was like the coolest thing ever. Thank you for that." You know, so like I'm not taking claim for like why Ty is so great and awesome for the community, but I created Ty Scott.
Right.
That
dude's charisma created himself, man. That dude's
100%.
fucking...
Did you know he has like 3 kids?
He's amazing. He's like got 3 kids. He's like does all this cool stuff. He's like an actor or something too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he does some kind of like acting.
Yeah, he's
what a cool guy.
He's incredible. He's a really incredible dude. But yeah, I mean, like I get it. Like in a tournament, it's so hard, like because you can't like force people like. If they make mistakes, it's their mistakes, right? But it never feels good. It never feels good. You know, like when that guy missed the plus ultra, like he just didn't tap his 3 foundations. Like I saw your face. You know, it's just like Yeah,
Okay.
you have to discard the momentum, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, and like yeah, you should have won the game, right? Like that's so shitty to and like at the end of the game you can't even tell them, right? Because telling them like feels bad, even worse, because you recognize you didn't tell them, and now they feel even worse because they missed it, right? And like,
I think it's correct to tell them at the end of the game.
I definitely told.
I think
I definitely said it.
I
right?
hear you, but like it's like the opposite of it. In a casual, I would just be like, yeah, dude, this you should be doing this X, Y, and Z, right? In a provisional environment, it's mega super negative, right? Because they could have beaten you, you recognized it, and they didn't, so they feel bad, right?
Right.
Like, and it's not just like, oh, they didn't tell me. It's, oh, I didn't see it. You know.
You also gotta read the room, right?
I think
that's really important.
Just being like, GG, and then leaving, like,
yeah.
see ya, haha.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying you shouldn't talk to them. I'm saying that no matter what, it feels bad, right? Like the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to teach this person, right, and be like, hey, man, you know, I streamed this. Review this footage, you know. But yeah, it's definitely a mega feel bad, regardless of the situation, right?
Sure.
Anyway, talking about the provisional, by the way, Tam and I played this weekend.
Yeah.
In the first round.
Well, I was gonna say, one of you played this weekend. Yeah, one of you.
Yeah, one of us didn't. One of us got rolled this weekend. Took some fat L's.
I went back and watched some of your footage, by the way. I watched the Devon game, and then I did catch you sometimes because my games were typically quicker than yours because I was playing the best deck in the format, right? But yeah, I think you were doing fine. I think that you do take some aggressive lines sometimes, Tam, that you don't need to. I think you could have beaten me.
Maybe I'm just an aggro player.
Maybe that's in my heart. Do you want Bromley to sugarcoat, or do you want me to tell you what I think?
Tell you what. I mean, both, right? I gotta get it from mom and dad.
You literally played your fucking deck that you talked up to be a great defensive deck, capable of beating this Asui and all these fucking other things. You had 2 turns maximum every game. You're like, well, built 5, gotta commit them all turn 2, gotta. Simply have to. Can't build more.
It's not every time.
That's true.
It's not every time. But
you did it every time. It was crazy.
What I felt was sometimes you get into situations where you felt like you needed to take those lines, even though your board state was really defensible, right? Yeah. And your poke game is so effective as that character, right? Like that was one of the things that I was surprised in our game was that you went for a few lines, like in the third game specifically, you went for like that indiscriminate line or whatever it was. And it felt like a Ben Shoemaker thing, right? It was third game energy. I don't disagree with it, right? But I wouldn't have taken that line, and so I can't. It's not even a criticism. It's just like a difference in play. Ben Shoemaker takes that line 100% of the time, and so that's just like.
I just did a comment on that specific line because I know what line you're talking about. It's when he went shock, recipro burst, shock. It was his last turn, and then you fucking killed him.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, and I talked to Tam a little bit about this the other day and when I was commenting on it, he had the ability to make all 3 of those attacks lethal. Do you think that he should have taken that line instead of just having Recipro Burst do 7, which left you at 2?
Yes.
He had the ability to make all of the attacks lethal, but his second shock would have been slow.
Yeah, forcing, yeah, so I can see... I think both are fine, right? Because playing the 7-speed indiscriminate shock, I had a plus ultra, right?
Sure.
I could have blocked it without it, you know, assuming I had a 1 or a 2 low, and then on my board, if I remember, I had some speed hate on it and stuff, right? But, like, it's hard to play around a plus ultra. Like, the assumption that my stun 2, after my 2 separate stuns already, so I've stunned 4 on this turn, and had a fast recipro, like, I think it's a fine play, especially since it's like low attack gets blocked, second low attack for not lethal does not get blocked, right? Is like, can be a bait, right? But also forces your opponent to deal with the last one, right? So it's like, like Tam taking that line is kind of like, I mean, it's 3/5 diff, so that's a big tall cost. But it's like, it's a risk because you're like, I don't think he has another low block. And yeah,
it was actually plus ultra or nothing.
Yeah,
right. That was actually your only out. Like you didn't have the resources even a little bit. Even a 1 low block, you didn't get there.
Okay.
Right. And so I took a judgment call and I was like, it's plus ultra or nothing. He's borrowing Jose's deck. Jose's playing a 1 plus ultra. I got him. And you flip the tape and I went, motherfucker. He had plus ultra. You drew the 1 of and you were like, I'm not Jose. I'm not playing.
I'm not Jose. Yeah, that's true.
that same token though, if the Recipro Burst is lethal, then you have to block Recipro Burst, and then he goes into shock, and then shock is unblockable because you are now even more committed out.
Could be
because you have to block the Recipro, and the Recipro's 8 speed. If he makes it for 9 damage, it is 8 speed also. So you're gonna have to tape plus ultra that.
I'm not looking at the specific line. It's just the decision to play a 5 into a 6 into a 7 on the amount of resources that we had on the table, right? That was it. It's just I don't typically go for those lines, which is why I don't play Ochako. Yeah. Right? Like that's the biggest reason I don't play Ochako is because Ochako feels super not clean with the lines that I see people take that with that character. It works. Yeah. I've been rolled by it, but it doesn't feel clean. It doesn't feel like at any point in the game I can guarantee take any line from my hand, which are the types of decks that I like to play. You know, the reason why Asui is so frustrating for people to deal with is because it's inevitable. If she drew those 7 attacks, she's playing those 7 attacks if her board is big enough, you know? If she has amphibious and stuff like that. But I don't it really doesn't, Levi. It really doesn't. That card's not good. Stop it. It's banned, in fact.
Makes it clean. I love it.
I don't, but like, that's fine. I'm not saying that the deck doesn't work. Risks are an inherent part of this game, right? And just, I'm risk averse. I don't want to take those lines, which is why I skew so much more towards control decks. And so when you take risks and you're paid for it, like, it's not like more or less deserved. It's just a thing that happens, and I'm just very risk averse, so I don't like to play those decks. That's it.
Probably checks bad too. He's not allowed.
Oh, dude, you missed yesterday when.
Oh, it was so sick.
I was laughing so hard, man.
Of all time.
Wow, it was like I had like 26 cards in my discard pile and 40 in my. No, it was like 30 something.
It was 30. Yeah, it was 30 in deck.
And we counted, and I had like 6 attacks left in my deck of 30 cards, and then I checked 4 straight attacks. Before that point, I had been like, I was already laughing. I don't know if anybody else was laughing. Barrett was not laughing. Barrett was not having fun because I'm playing a fucking lame control deck. But
absolutely abysmal deck to fight.
Sorry, but
which one are we playing? Okay. Which one are we talking about?
I was playing Toga.
We love it.
But like I was just checking so many orange cards to just do anything, and I was like, wow, you know, it got to the point where I was like, I was expecting it, and it would still happen, and I'd still be surprised because it's like, there's no way it could happen. It just kept.
It just couldn't. Kept having it possibly happen again.
It was very funny.
And then he cycled, and he's like, I have these attacks back in my deck. I bet we check an attack.
No,
slams, checks the orange.
It was even worse because I was like, Barrett has 2 confused out, right? If I play a throw right now, he can't take throw off of it if I don't check a throw.
Checks a throw.
Played throw, check throw. He plays confused, and I'm like, what are the odds of that, really, you know? But it's funny.
You win this round.
It's funny. It was very funny. It's okay. He still lost his 1. I'm okay with it. He lost his 1. I drew 4 cards.
I love it.
But it was a very funny sequence of events. But yeah, overall, this is not me trying to shit on you, Tam. It's just I've seen you take those lines, and I think you could just reel it in a little bit, just a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit. You know,
I think that's a totally fair assumption. I mean, the 2 main decks I've been playing competitively were I played Ochako, which really gets rewarded for those aggressive lines, right? Like, I don't care if you block me, snap momentum, clear my card pool. Feels great. Right. And then All Might 2, which, like, I'm a 6-hander until I snag a momentum, and so I kind of have to, like, on turn 2, turn 3, find 2-3 attacks to land in order to, like, really start playing my game.
Right.
So, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
My entire Eda 2 experience was strictly playing against Bromley's Yo-Yo Yama guy deck. So
it was fun.
I don't claim to be like I know that the lines aren't super easy, honestly, in the character anyway, because you have to find the damage, and that character does not do much except for like, here's 1/8 speed move a turn, and it's like it does like limit itself to like what it can do offensively, but it does have really good defense. So if you do build 900 foundations like you did against me with your Eda 3 deck, when we played one game on TTS and you had 7,000 foundations. Like, I think Eda 2 also benefits from a similar line to that, where you're just like, I have a million cards. Like, I'll play really good defense until you push too far, and then I'll throw fucking burst at you for 10 or into scrimmage shock for 1,000.
So, genuinely, like, besides the Bromley game, right?
Yeah.
All the other games that I lost were all dice roll games. I lost to Dinky. I lost to Devin, right? And then he turned 2 to me. I was forced to turn 2 him because his deck was actually snutty. And then he turned 2 to me. Like, I lost 3 dice rolls, and then I got demolished by an Ochako in the last round, who actually, like, built 4, and then proceeded to play 10 attacks over the course of the 2 turns. Like, he just did that twice. And I was just like, well, yeah, man, I have 19 health. I don't know what to do.
In your testing of the deck, though, was going second that big of a deal? Like, if going second was like the deciding factor, generally when testing the deck, I think like that's just like a complete flaw in the deck, right? Because you're saying these were dice roll games.
I think it was because the decks that I lost to were those hyper aggressive. I'm going in on turn 2. If I pop off, right? And they just kind of did. Right?
Sure.
Like, Devin doesn't find 2 more attacks, and then I'm fine. But, like, he found 2 more attacks and was able to stave off his defense, like, just enough because he's a Razorhead, right? Like, he's always got a 1 mid block with Breaker 1 that makes my math just a little bit harder. But, like, if I put the brakes on and, like, held my cards, all of his moves are too fast, and I can't do anything about it. They didn't quite get up to the double speed, so now my DR doesn't work, and so on and so forth.
That's
right?
fair.
But that might be, like, the inherent flaw of the character. I built it to do one specific thing. I misplayed versus that one character, and then I never fought that character because I was in the losers bracket the rest of the day, right? Like, the goal was to, like, win the first 2 and then fight Frappies the rest of the day. I ended up fighting the Frappie, dropped down to losers, and I didn't see another one.
Yeah.
So, like, I made a meta call, played my first one poorly, and then whatever. But, like,
sure,
I would be upset if you didn't top Bromley, but, like, you topped, so I'm in, right? I'm down, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
No.
I almost did it too, man. Like I went 5-0, and then I played Ryan Field, forgot to sideboard out. I called the judge, even though everybody told me, like, dude, who cares? It's fine. I was just like, man, if somebody had their sideboard in against me, I'd want them to speak up too, right? So I called the judge. They gave me a game loss. And
which is fair.
Yeah,
which is totally fair.
Yeah, and then I go first. I build out. Ryan Field plays 5 foundations. I build more because I'm Asui. And then he spends 3 straight turns tapping completely out and says, if you've got it, you've got it. And I draw 1 attack. And this happens 3 turns in a row. It wasn't like he blew me out. It was like he just completely just said, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know?
I got a game 3.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. It was like after, like, you know, it felt so sad to be played into like that, because, like, I did, like, the nice thing, right? Like, the good thing, which is to be, like, honest and, like, hey, I forgot the sideboard, and I fucked up. I deserved it, right? But damn, it felt bad to be disrespected that hard, you know, in the second game. Just like, man, 3 times in a row. It sucked.
That's funny.
Yeah. What are the odds, actually? 37% are the odds, because I played a lot of attacks in my deck. I'm not playing an 18 attack out of 50 card deck. We're playing like 23 attacks. So, and it wasn't like I was sculpting attacks either. I drew my 1 attack and blocking and stuff like that. So, like, I understand that is a thing you can do, but, like, math says I get 3 or 4 attacks out of 7, right? That's my number.
That's been my issue with the E deck that I'm testing right now.
Yeah.
Is like I'm only finding 2 attacks. I need to either increase the number or decrease the foundations. Ratio's just slightly off.
Well, you can ask Phil.
that-
When I play 6-handers, I play 50-50 decks, so.
It's so bad.
Hey, I did that for the Unfun Fridays tournament.
Love that.
this past weekend.
I want you to know, in the time that it took you to take like a single phone call today, Bromley, when I built like 2 aggro decks that both sucked wiener, one of them was 26 or 24 attacks, 26 foundations, Mina 2. It was gonna be hype, except it sucked. I test through it one hand. It was like, this isn't even fun, and then just threw it away.
So 2 things for Tim and chat. I did the math. I had 3 creepy realizations and a sticky balls. 3 attacks did do 27. And also that's fair, but I would have also just taken on one of those 3 turns, being able to poke, like, effectively. What I got was, like, a Frog Lashing, which is a sculpt card. And then the second time was, like, I think another Frog Lashing. And then the third time, I just didn't have any attacks. And then I died, because I was at 1. But,
Gone.
But, like, yeah, I think that's a legitimate thing. That's one of the reasons why I hate playing Todoroki, is because it's one thing that people don't do into me when I do play Todoroki. They're just, like, respecting my offense too much. So I just live in fear of somebody who's just like, you gotta have it. You're in a character that sucks, right? Like, your character's not good until you get there, until you have the big discard pile, right? So for the first 2 turns,
Right.
I'm just gonna play my entire hand out and hold 1. So, Big Joe Marshall, you got the email? Hell yeah, dude. So the DLC is not shipped. I will ship that separately. I'm taking the loss on those to ship those separately.
Aren't the DLCs just like not out yet?
They're not out yet. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
they
a
don't come out
pre-order.
for like a while.
That is a pre-order. I'm not gonna make you pay for shipping twice, though. Don't worry. But because otherwise I would have to make everybody wait to wait for the DLC to arrive before I could ship them the set 2 box, and I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I haven't sent the DLC out. I'm sorry about that. I shipped out the boxes though. That should have also been in the email though. If it isn't, then I screwed up. Sorry. Don't even hold 1 versus Todoroki. Is the man really gonna stun himself for 1? Yes, he is. Yeah, you hold 1.
Yes, for sure.
You hold 1. Yeah, I would take
Yep.
+1 difficulty to get guaranteed 8-9 damage against you. So like
Yeah.
you can't completely disrespect him, but you can hold like a breaker 2 mid block, or like just like a good mid or a good high, because most of his attacks are high, and if he's playing his ice storms, like that feels good. But yeah, I think that you can basically disrespect Todoroki, and that's one of the things that I feared when I was piloting the deck. Was somebody who was just Unga Boonga, which is why I played 4 sticky balls. That's why I played the 4 ice storms, is because I wanted to be able to tell my opponent, no, you can't just play your whole hand. You have to deal with breaker 2 and a card in your card pool and so on and so forth, right?
You're not allowed.
Yeah, you're not allowed to build
Irresponsible.
6 this turn. You have to deal with the card you played, your attack, right? The sticky balls, and then also breaker 2. So typically, like, that's why you got to control the game is if you got to build for 2 turns and then they went in on their 4 foundations or their 5 foundations or whatever else, they couldn't typically build enough to catch up with you at that point. And then if you were going second and you did that play going second, you then got enough value out that you now could catch up, right? You force them to not be able to build as effectively, or tap out aggressively to build effectively, and then now you catch up, right? And that's like one of the really powerful things that nobody talks about when sticky balls comes up in the equation, is that sticky balls prevents you from building big on those early turns. It's one of the really, really debilitating parts, and we're gonna see like sticky balls plus a cheerful block, or Mineta 2, sure. I certainly am not playing a deck unless it shits all over Mineta 2. I fucking hate that character. I hate that character. How dare somebody play the lamest game of UFS and it not be me?
How fucking dare you?
Yeah, how dare you? The thing is that, like, it's so sad because I look at Cementos and I look at Mineta and I'm like, I don't like this character. Like, it's the type of, like, so many people have asked me for Cementos lists, and I'm like, ew, yucky. What do you mean I have a flipped board? Because I just, like, I explicitly hate playing spam because it doesn't do anything. This format's great because all the spam does stuff, but,
Right.
But, like, in, like, standard, I was like, I remember, like, the first event I played that, Tim was like, you have, like, 3 spams in your deck. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know, because I want my board to do stuff, and that's why I suck playing.
Effects.
Well, I sucked playing against Tim Keefe, not Tim Keefe, but Tim Keefe 2, like Tim Keefe 2 dot, because I want a meaningful
Right.
board, and Tim Keefe 2 rips apart a board, right? And so, also Tim Keefe, because Tim Keefe himself really hates when I have a board and he loves pointing at things.
Yeah, that guy loves Rose Mystique, and I think that card is so
He
bad.
really loves just tearing apart my board. It's fucked up. But yeah, Cementos and Mineta 2 both are like characters who don't care about their board state because their face does all of the work. At least the way that
Right.
I've been seeing people play those characters, right? They're so all in on getting their character value, and like I think that's correct. That's the way to play it. I don't like that because I want to do this with my board. You know, I want to do cool shit. You know, the reason I'm playing Toga isn't because, I mean, yeah, it is because the character's really good, but also because I think that she does really, really cool card movement, and like all of the response windows and all the things that you get to do with her is really, really cool. They did reprint Rose Mystique.
I love drawing cards.
It's on Airstream Driver, right? Discard Momentum Rose Mystique. Rose Mystique worse. Yeah. Oh, don't make me pay moment. Well, you could play the good card. You could play 3 difficulty if you played an action card that points at things. That card is nuts, actually.
Or you could just play a 2-check. You know, the Stained One says it. If you've touched
true.
them this game,
Yeah,
that turns off a Foundation 2.
that is true.
Boop.
I
You
like
got
that
options.
card. That card is very aggressively statted for a 4-div. Both of them are.
Is that the
Yes.
6 damage one?
6 damage to
Yeah.
306.
Yeah, that's the 2-check. I actually like that card a lot.
I like it. It's just it is a 2-check, right? Like you should be playing like an aggro deck or a deck that can offset. You know, be able to build big enough that the 2-check doesn't matter so much. Jesco is bullying me. Jesco is not bullying you. It gave you what 2 symbols you really like that have on-demand seal.
I'm all in on the mega greedy list, though. I want to play the 2-check and the 1-check. I want to be
Do it.
so greedy.
Do it and play Stab Strike. Fuck it, dude. Go ahead.
I want to be so greedy.
Yeah.
I think if you play that 1-check on turn 4, you just like it's Magic Christmas Land. Build twice and then pop off with a 1-check. Feels great. Feels so good.
Yeah.
You drop so many attacks.
I have
You drop
seen
so many attacks.
I have seen the 1-check in play. Somebody sent me a board state where they like had a completely tapped board but like 7 attacks in their hand, and I was like, you lose this game, right? Because you have 3 foundations and 8 attacks in hand. You are now behind for the rest of time, right?
No, but he's got all his attacks though.
But he has
Yeah, he
every.
has
It's
all
true.
his
He has
attacks.
every. But
The
I was
gang's
just
all
It was
here.
so funny. It was so funny because I got sent the picture, and they were like so proud, and I was like, "This is awesome." And you like clearly you played this 1-check 3 times this turn, right? But
Like, I'm
you're not,
very happy for
Yeah.
you, but also you lost, right?
Yeah, there's no way we come back from this because we can't ever build again. We're gonna be reviewing and blocking with these, like chump blocking with these attacks, just trying to get them out of our hand. I think that's so funny. Trying to listen when the buy list topic comes up is so hard. I'm sorry, buddy.
We're never getting to any of the topics today.
I will yell
Never.
sauce blocks. All right, I'll finish my run.
I'm
Tam-
good,
Tam-
man.
Tam already talked
I'm
to-
having fun.
I lost to Ryan Field, who I already talked about, and then I lost to an All Might. And it's the first, like, I think that Asuin to All Might is actually so easy, but this guy was just so, it was the same thing as Ryan Field, is so frustrating. He did top, and like, he's a good player. He was playing so well around my stuff, to the point that was very frustrating, because he was doing the thing where he's like, you don't have it. I have 5 cards in my hand and 30 health, so I will take every 4 damage attack you throw at me, and for good measure, I'm gonna resistance on every attack, because your stun doesn't matter. If you stun me, I'm very happy to just get a free foundation. I built 3 pull my punches, so you can't go to deadlock, you know.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
main board?
Yeah, they were main board for sure, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And like, I slammed him in the second game, but the first game, the first and third game, he was just like, you have to draw multiple tongue lashings and frog lashings, or frog lashings and tongue whips, frog lips, yeah, tongue whips, whatever. You have to draw those to kill me, and I don't think you have it. I looked at your discard pile. Actually, he didn't look at my discard pile. He just trusted it, I guess. The only person to look at my discard pile ever has been Giggles in the My Hero format. Giggles is the only guy who's ever looked at my discard pile.
I don't give a fuck about your discard pile.
I look at my opponent's discard pile all the time. I try to count all the time.
That's not true.
It did bite me in the ass, though.
I played against you on TTS with Kuragiri. I had to have looked at your discard pile.
That's probably true. Yeah, you probably did do that.
I had to have, literally.
So, but yeah, he just had enough DR for the early ones, and then was holding like 5 cards in his hand. So I didn't feel comfortably going in with like a good hand. I needed like a nuts hand, and it was pretty cool. I didn't enjoy it. I was molding after I lost to it, but you know, it was cool, and I respected it. I respect it in retrospect. And then I beat in the final round Kirk Polka, who had actually, I think, the scariest Ochako deck I've ever seen. That deck was on life. It was cracked. I think that life is actually the way for that character, because of frog lashing, and
love frog lashing.
And there was just like he had the coolest call ever, actually, into the water symbol. He sideboarded in create capture net, because if I sticky balls him, he would just play create and build down the foundation. It was stun to me and then build down the foundation.
That's pretty big brain,
That's
honestly.
tight.
Yeah, it was
like
really
cool.
It was very, very cool. He just subbed out, I think it was the meteor. He subbed out something for it, and it.
Son of a bitch, that's cool.
It was super
like
cool.
That.
It was super, super cool.
That card's a charge, huh?
Yeah, it's a charge.
That card fucking leaves the card pool when we're done with it. That's sick as fuck. Holy shit.
But the big thing, like I didn't go first, I think, the entire day, except for the time where I lost to the judge damage. But like I had to break serve against Kirk in the third game, and like the first game he like literally teed off me. He went frog lashing, shove momentum, Dave Laser being flipped to frog lashing, pick up the other frog lashing, and I was like, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yep.
That's pretty good. I'm at 2, and then he went meteor shower, and I was like, yeah, okay. You know,
I guess
and
I'm dead.
Like, so the problem with Ochako, in my opinion, is that like if she checks poorly, she's fucked, right? She's super, super screwed, because passing those checks is hard. And you have that symbol has amphibious and tight-lipped, so you play the amphibiouses and you get the effects of the amphibious, but then frog lashing turns the rest of your board into cards you also ready. And so she's just like, if I drew the attacks, I'm playing all of the attacks in my hand, assuming that the frog lashings are part of the equation, right? And that shit's fucked up. That was why I thought it was threatening, because like I'm not super scared of the indiscriminate shock ones, because like they're typically playing it on 7s and 8s, and if they tap out that aggressively and I block it, they're just dead. Whereas Kirk was like still ready at the end of his turn and could block 1 or 2 things feasibly. So like breaking serve against that felt fucking terrible. I had to hold all my good ones. I had to be prepared for double frog lashing at least, and they were always for 8 to 10. Because like you think of the big situations where the cards for like 14 and stuff like that, but like a 3 difficulty 4 high 8 is like a 3 difficulty 4 high 8, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just absurd in terms of the stats it puts on things, right? So yeah, I hate having to. Yeah, that's a very Tim Keefe take to have. I'll tell you what. I sure did play into Ryan Field, who literally started his turn, went attack, seal your board, commit 3 foundations. Okay, I'm gonna continue with my turn now. Yeah.
Quit doing shit. It's my turn, damn it. Let me play.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Tim Keefe plays UFS and hates interaction, actually.
I'm confirmed. Tim Keefe wrote into his governor to get reversal canceled.
Get reversal cancel. It's been the constant like strife, right? Not strife. It's the constant conversation I have with Tim Keefe, where he's like, I'm like, I love the good symbol. He's like, I'd really love the good symbol if it could point at something. And I'm like, yeah, that's true.
That's funny.
And I'm like, but no, Tim, I want you to do all your things and me to do all my things, but I just want it to not matter when you do your things. And he's like, no,
have fun, but you to have less fun.
Yeah, exactly. No. It's in fact, it's a like Tim Keefe is like, I want to control the game and kill you, right? I want you to fucking die, right? Tim Keefe is never actually wants to get to turn 5, I don't think. And I'm asserting things. He should say stuff in chat if I'm wrong. Okay, I'm like always like
he has his own podcast.
I want to get
watch it on Wednesdays.
I want to. That's true. Go watch Rochester on Wednesdays. They didn't do it last week because somebody was at a monster truck rally, something like that. Concert, something.
A monster truck concert.
But
on the cello.
Sick.
But like that's one of the reasons I like the good symbol in general is because it's got the good guy energy where it's just like I'm gonna punch you and it's cool. Be winnable on turn 6. Okay. I don't know what that means honestly. But that's fair. I guess like no like you don't want to stare into a board that is literally undefeatable, I guess.
Yeah.
You can't win on turn 6 if you let them have every single defense toy. With the hockey instead. That makes sense. Yeah, that's fair. If you let them have every defense toy, then you can't beat through them. Unless you have like a very, very nutty hand. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that's like very like prescient, right? Like that's the mentality you should have. But I don't have that. I don't know. I would rather just have the better late game. That's usually my answer is that my late game is better than yours.
Speaking of decks, what should I play this Friday for the Unfun Stuff Fridays?
I think you should play that cool Ida deck that you were playing into me.
I would love to do that. What if I didn't have set 2 cards though?
Oh, yeah, if you don't have set 2 cards, which you should
what
have.
If we didn't have set 2 cards though.
Because if stuff got shipped today and you checked your tracking,
I didn't get a tracking number.
it comes in on Thursday.
Oh,
Yeah.
tight. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that then.
Yeah,
We'll
but
do that.
assuming that doesn't happen, then if we're playing with set 1 stuff, it's Aoyama 100%.
100%.
That deck is so fun.
It's 100% Sero. We love Sero.
Oh, Sarah's tight.
I love
I
Sero.
got a set 2 Sarah deck. I think I can actually run my set 2 Sarah deck right now.
That's the coolest character ever that nobody plays.
Yes.
Zero?
Very much so.
Yeah, that dude's tight as fuck.
He is cool. I think that
You can't block him.
I think the raw nuts you have to have to play Zero is like out of this world though. Because
That character is unblockable attacks, probably. Who wants to give him 2 cards? Nobody.
I don't know. I just like I look at him and then I'm like, what if I play into anybody who's playing Resistance or anybody who's playing like Wall Cling or something like that, and I feel really bad because he only has like a few really impactful attacks. You can just chump block things.
We play him off of.
Everybody show up with
Order.
Aoyama.
You play them off of order, and then you commit all their good cards with shock treatment.
That's true. The air symbol, the good symbol does get airstream.
And that guy has infinite momentum. You can't block his attacks.
Yeah.
He's unblockable.
I don't know. I mean, as Tam, I block Sarah all day.
Certainly did. And then I
Damn,
got to
that's
take my
crazy.
bad all attack hands and build 2 board foundations, and it was sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was sweet. I got to get back in the game, baby.
That's my boy right there.
Yeah. It was awesome. Last night I made I had 5 attacks and 1 foundation, and I jam a fucking tape swing, and I made it not mid. And he goes, "You should always make this mid." And I went, "I always want to draw the 2 cards off this card. I'm down for you to block this. Flip it with your face shield. I'm in. I don't need the momentum. I need to not have 5 attacks in my hand."
That's fair. That's fair, I guess. I still think that damage is like that trumps almost everything. But yeah, I didn't know you had 5 attacks in your hand, right?
I certainly
He said,
did.
I am so down.
Like,
Yeah, we had 4 more copies of "If you don't block this, discard a card." We were like, well, we don't get to play these on turn 2.
that's fair. Okay, I guess we talked the provisional stuff. We should talk about Unfun Fridays real quick. Do the shilling.
Phil,
Do the
I have
shilling.
tried to transition to this topic twice now.
Thanks, Mister. Crow.
We're having fun, son of a bitch. You can't dictate our fun, Tam. You're a guest. You're a guest in this house.
Yeah.
True. Sorry. Hey, my bad. Hey, my B.
All right, but check it. You can go to. I switched it over because my website sucks and made people pay for like
shipping?
or something like
Yeah,
that. It was weird. Anyway, we're doing it through this website. That's fine. And you can go to play. You go over here. You type in unfun or unfun stuff. Either one. I guess unfun stuff doesn't get it for you, huh? Interesting. That's so cringe. Wow, it really doesn't. I guess because there's a semicolon after it. Don't pick these ones. These are last week. But you go to week 2. How cringe.
Yo.
That's so weird. You can buy a ticket.
Anybody in Jasco, can we delete old events? Is that possible?
I sure can. I can delete them, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
People definitely should.
Yeah. Like, I can do that right now. You guys want to watch me delete it? Burn it all.
Yeah,
Hell
burn it
yeah.
all to hell.
Oh, that's week 2. I should probably not delete that. Delete that one. Yeah, I want to delete it. And then we'll delete this one. Yeah.
So are these officially sanctioned? Do you get points events?
Fuck
For
no.
the
Well, it's
thing?
casual. You can get 1 point from a casual every week.
Are these tournaments?
Yeah, but I'm not like a store yet. I'm not brick and mortar,
Oh.
so I can only organize casual things. I can still give you like packs and stuff. I can do whatever I want. I can make you pay money for it, but I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Okay,
casual.
That's fair.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it.
That's
You just go to play.
fair.
You type in unfun, not unfun stuff, because apparently you need to write unfun stuff plus the colon.
Which is good that this is casual, because then you can definitely say that Tongue Smack is banned and nobody can say anything about it.
Yeah, that's it. But join us. We had a lot of fun. We did a disco party afterwards. It was pretty sick. It spawned Dan Nelson's silly meme last week. It was pretty cool. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'll steal a webcam from Ben Shoemaker's house and play.
I think that's tight. Yeah, actually, so
That'd be cool.
this Friday I'm not going to be in attendance. Goose is going to be running it entirely because I'm going to be on a flight to Atlanta. I will be like checking in on my phone and stuff like that, but I won't be able to play. But I trust Goose.
I'll be
implicitly.
streaming it.
He's an incredible dude. Tab's going to be there. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be sick.
It's gonna be tight. It's gonna
Yeah.
be so tight.
People pay for the disco party. Playing is just that's true, dude. The disco party was hype. I'm telling you, it's mandatory fun. We love mandatory
It's
fun.
mandatory fun. We love mandatory fun. You are forced into it. Our fun.
Yeah, exactly. Our fun. All right. Does anybody have any set 2 hot takes to take?
Do I have a set 2 hot take?
Because I have a few.
Give me yours first so I don't overlap my hot takes.
I think that you cannot play a symbol that doesn't have throw hate in this format.
Not a hot take.
What's your hot take?
No, that's not a hot take.
Oh, it's
Everybody
not a
knows
hot
that.
take? Oh, okay. I think it's
No.
a hot take. I think it's a hot take. Because, like, there's so many fun decks in this format, and then I just look everywhere, and I'm like, and everyone's like,
Eventual clasp.
What's that?
All Might Throw Part 2.
just
I don't know
over.
what that means.
So there's a 4 difficulty 3 high 3 that you lose 2 health and it gets 3 more damage. And then you
Oh,
play
yeah.
All Might and you give it 2 more damage. And then it combos into a 5 difficulty throw that starts at 3 high 6, but it combos high attack and gets 2 more damage. And fuck you, idiot.
Huh.
So you just have this very
Cool.
easy 3 high 6 throw into a 3 high 8 throw. And if you're All Might, it's actually a 5 high 8 throw with stun 1. And but he gives them both 2 damage, gives the second one plus 4 damage if you decided you were gonna block the first one for some reason. Like, why would you block this 3 high 9, idiot? It's gonna make my 3 high 8 into a 3 high 12. It's just,
Huh.
yeah, that's the thing. And I don't even think 16 throws is like a good plan. In my Toga deck, I explicitly don't call it Throga. I call it Controlga, because I
Wow.
think that controlling the game is way better than just playing every
hate-
throw in the life symbol.
I hate both of those.
Yeah, they do suck. I would rather just call it Toga. But in
Yeah,
my
they
head,
both
that's
suck.
the thing. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, 16 throws doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't play I play half that. You know, and
Or you
even-
wanna set 2 hot take? Damage reduction good Midoriya is gonna be sick.
damage reduction. Good Midoriya? What does that
Yep,
even
I'm
mean?
gonna-
Midoriya 2?
It means Midoriya 2, who gets to build in extra foundations, is gonna be sick when it's playing all DR foundations.
So you just play like manly friendship, resistances, hardened,
I'm playing all the fucking cards to make it so I take less damage.
self-sacrifice.
Building these bitches in for free.
Interesting.
sick.
I think that so that was the premise of the Jiro deck that I played. The defense was actually just like I have 27 health, and all of my foundations fuck with your damage, right? I can either reset them, then give them minus damage. I was playing like 4 self-sacrifice, 4 hardens, 4 resistances, and then a bunch of really good high and low blocks. And my thing was, if I got to turn 3 or 4, I could kill you, and I only needed like 4 or 5 attacks to do it. So my early turns was like I would just build my whole hand, and I had Passing the Torch and mainstream success. Like,
I love watching you play that deck. It was so fun to watch. You'd just be like,
yep,
here they all are. They're all on the table.
yeah, let's play the whole hand.
Opponent plays an attack. I'll draw 2 cards.
Yeah, I mean, that was awesome. It was one of the few times where I felt super vulnerable were turns where I didn't draw Passing the Torch and I didn't draw mainstream success. Because, like, part of the value of, like, Jiro is that I got to, like, scout top of deck and, like, find the block that I needed. Like, I played, and one of the funnier things was I played into Sam Tate in the final round, and I just, like, on his turn, he attacked me, and I just didn't have any highs in my hand. So I was like, let's go fishing, and I drew 4 cards. So I just drew 4 cards before I mainstream successed, you know, and I was like, okay, yeah, you can continue with your turn now. So like that's something that the good symbol can do. It's not just Jiro that does that, right? Like the Jiro deck that I was playing played a super low attack count, and I think the deck is actually super sick in the set 1 format. It gets a lot worse with the second set because you can interrupt the combo chains a little more easily, and by a little more I mean a lot more easily. It's the concept of like utilizing the really good draw power and the very strong just natural DR. You can ignore pokes, and that was my thing. Is that I look at Asui, I look at even All Might is kind of like this. Ochako is like this, where they're just like, I'm gonna start with thing, right? Whether it's Jolt or Eat My Sticky Balls or Hardened Jab. All these things are like usually between like 3 and 6 damage. If you make those into 2 and 4 damage, it's a lot more ignorable. And then when you have 6 hand size life, it's you can then save your blocks, right? Against Ochako, you can DR the first 2 or 3 even, and then block Indiscriminate Shock, right? Against Asui, you can just ignore the everything but Tongue Smack and Frog Lashing and fucking Tongue Whip. My bad.
I love calling it Frog Whip. I have no idea why. I get them mixed up all the time too, man.
Frog Whip, tongue lashing.
Tongue lashing.
Yeah, tongue lashing and Frog Whip. Yeah, it does. It does. I actually
Tongue lips.
I like tongue lashing better actually because it is like.
To answer Damdol though, I love Tetsu.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna play him because he's just 5 hand size Jeffrey, but I loved Jeffrey in Standard so fucking much.
Yeah,
I loved that silly fucking guy. No, but seriously, I like this Deku guy, man. I'm telling you, Deku 2, actually a real character for you fucking mega weebs out there.
Yeah. What was your hot take?
I have no idea what the fucking play.
That's your hot take?
Which is I'm supposed to be the guy that's got it figured out. I can
build you an 80 card Deku fucking 2 deck if you want to play 80 cards.
I can build my own 80 card deck.
Are you sure?
I'm a master.
Are you sure? Because your Eda 2 deck didn't even play Class 1A President, you son of a bitch.
I feel like Tamren. I feel like Tamren should be playing an Airstream Driver deck. And he just isn't.
Airstream Driver's got big Tamren energy.
Yeah.
Yes. My Void deck was playing it.
So play a Void deck. It's also really good in Ochako, right?
That's where I'm leaning. Yeah, it is really good in Ochako. I don't know. I don't know if I want to play Ochako set 2. And I don't know if that's because like I just like have a thing about just not playing the character because I've played it for actually 5 major events, right?
I kind of want to play Ochako 2, I'm not going to lie. Or Ochako 1, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean she's good, right? She's just a good ass character.
Zero Gravity Lift is my favorite card now. Every time I see somebody play it, they look like they're having the most fun.
Yeah, while not playing enhances on the card.
Yeah, I'm
not
like,
me.
Just play it. And they're like,
I'm like, this card is no enhances. But it's the most fun
people
card.
play Zero Gravity Lift, and I mauled. I want them all to suffer as I've suffered.
They're having the most fun. That's what I mean.
I know. That's why I played Frog, right? Over the weekend. That's why I played Asui. I had zero interest in the offensive Asui. I think that she's insufferable and I hate the character. But I wanted to play the water symbol because I was so tired of getting teed off on by fucking people going, Zero Gravity Lift, yuck, 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 yuck. Instant Explosive Release, yuck, 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 yuck. Just hated it.
Yeah, man.
I hate it so much. I just want to punish a motherfucker for putting that shitty 3-diff into their deck, dude.
Oh yeah, that card sucks.
I just want a man to not be allowed to play that. I want them to go home and be like, why was I playing this card? You know?
I was playing that card because 3 cards equals 30 damage, and that's sweet.
I'm not talking about you, Tamren.
I felt like it.
But I still told you, I still will tell you every time not to play that card. No, I'm talking about every Giro I've ever seen on the air symbol playing that card at like 4x. And then like whenever I'm not playing the water symbol, I play into that deck and they get this huge mega greedy string out where they play like 16 cards. And I'm like, yeah, if I just had a piece of throw hate, this is impossible, right? And you're only allowed to do this against me because I don't have access to that in my one set format. So I looked at that and I said, no, I'm just playing the water symbol so I can say fuck you to your first attack. You don't get to do that, you know? Yeah. There's a guarantee.
I love that card.
Yeah, that card's way better than instant explosive release, right?
That card is so cool. It's the coolest card ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rebound sidekick is so fucking cool.
It isn't guaranteed though. I think. Let me go read it.
It's guaranteed.
It doesn't.
I mean,
it doesn't.
unless they DR it.
Right. They could DR it, but it's flash, so that's kind of hard.
I mean, yeah. That's hard.
called
I mean, if it
rebound.
hits you, it's gonna go to momentum. If it gets blocked, it's gonna go to momentum. I mean, if it hits you, it doesn't go right away.
All right, so I could double resistance it, and then you're fucked. If it's not your first,
unless it's my first move.
If you walk into my double resistance and still play a rebound sidekick, you don't get the momentum. Gotcha. Got your ass.
Got point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. I do think that this card is kind of cranked. That's really good. It has a 2 mid block.
I love this card.
Yeah.
Dude, you
That's
play it
great.
into Recipro Acceleration Kick or whatever that thing is. It's so cool.
Oh wow. Oh,
It's
that is
so cool, right?
That is really cool.
If they go to momentum, you get extra damage and then remove them from your card pool for fucking EX. It's fucking cool, guys. It's the coolest shit ever.
I was looking at it under the void deck for same turn pummels.
Oh, that's kind of tight too.
Yeah, so they block it and you're like, ah, shucks, pummel. Plus 10. Oh no.
All right. Does anybody have any other hot takes? No.
Not that I can think of.
I think Bakugo 2 isn't gonna be as good as people think he's gonna be.
Agreed. Agreed completely.
Is it just me? Because I just like the character. I think he's so fun.
I'm sure he's
some of the
cool,
most
man.
fun I've ever had losing at this game every single.
Oh, it's
every
so
single time.
flashy, dude. I love playing that 5 difficulty into the 4 diff and being like flip 4 foundations, bitch.
Yeah.
That shit's so
great.
fun. It's so fun. But he doesn't. The one thing that he doesn't have that like it's so wild because every single flip character in standard had this, right? Is some way to utilize those flip foundations for like stats, right?
Nah, they're just flipped.
They're just. I mean, like, and listen. I like it. It's just weird because it came from Jasko.
Yeah, it's true.
That he doesn't have that, right? He doesn't have the +1 speed for each thing, and if I have 30, it's actually +2 speed for each thing. It doesn't have Mexican Typhoon on it, you know, like it's weird because like one of my problems with Asui in particular is that she gets benefits when things leave the card pool, right?
Yeah.
And like
Okay.
that is the benefit, right? She's
the benefit
already
should be it left the card pool.
She's already making these things leave the card pool, right? Why is she getting more? You know, it's like I understand you're playing into the archetype, right? The thing that the character does, you want to gate the thing, but like I would much prefer reasonable things were attached to keywords than attached to things that are already benefits. It's like when like you look at costs for things that are actually effects, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like why would you do that as the cost? You know?
I definitely agree with you. It's so weird to look at Asui and all of Asui support, and then they have to look at Mina too, where she doesn't actually do anything with face downs on her characters.
Right,
Like,
she's just
if
ignoring
she could
them.
If she could like generate a face down from her character somehow, isn't that character like actually playable?
It's better for sure, right? If she had like, you know, admission fees or something like that, she's definitely more terrifying.
As of now, she has to like literally play her 4 diff to do 1 extra damage to your opponent during the turn. Like,
yeah. Well, you do get. So I played it last Friday, and I had a lot of fun. I went 0-3. It was awesome. And what I was trying to do was just build a big board, and then I would go attack, put everything into my card pool, and then play all of my other attacks into alleyway ambushes.
alleyway ambush Mina, baby, let's go.
And so what ended up happening was I would play the flash one that puts the thing in the card pool, flash thing that puts it in the card pool, and then I'd play other attack, check a 3, tap 3. Then go alleyway ambush, check a 3, tap 2, and then I try to play my last alleyway ambush and I check a 3 and fail it, and I'm like, oh well, okay. Like I think I actually resolved one alleyway ambush while I had 5 cards in my card pool, and I felt like the G-est man alive.
If you play her off of death, you get to play Crow and Frog Takedown and Ignition, Explosion, whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Nitro Ignition. None of your cards count towards progressive, baby.
Yeah, So that's actually a real deck. That's actually a real deck. I've seen Sam Tate play it with Toga, and it's kind of terrifying because but it's so dependent on like the order he draws things, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like, if he sees all of the alleyways first, he's fucked. But I've seen it where he like draws 3 Crow and Frogs, then Price for Pieces, draws 3 alleyway ambushes, and I'm like, yeah, I mean that was counts to 5, 6 times, you know. It's like that's that like it is a thing, and it's a cool deck. But it's turbo inconsistent. You know, it's kind of like the Tokiyami thing where you not only do you have to draw the right cards, you have to draw the right cards at the right time. But it's cool. It is cool. I think it is very neat, and I think Nina's very cool. So if anybody is wondering, go ahead, man.
I'm gonna do the exact opposite. I think the coldest take of all time, and I think that this is really important. I think set 2 is gonna breathe so much life into the game, because I think it's going to be the best that like kitchen table UFS has been in a very long time.
That's fair.
I think the cool decks you get to make are so fucking cool. I'm absolutely in love with this Fire Todoroki 1-dot deck. That is a big hot pile, but when it works, holy shit, it's so awesome.
I
literally
just blew smoke about this Midoriya 2 deck, dude. I cannot wait to play 4 full power clashes in a deck and have it be like 7/7 sometimes. This is sometimes gonna be an 8 mid for 10 fortif, and I'm so excited about that.
So I don't even think that set 1 as a format is like solved. I think that a lot of the problem, like, and, I mean, we saw this. I think with Standard when we had Standard for 2 years with no updates, really, right? Like, you can still innovate. And of course, there were 10 sets in that format. It's not exactly the same thing. But I think that there's a lot of unexplored stuff in the first set. But when we have these quote-unquote big events, and those are, like, the tailored experiences instead of, like, locals that are, like, being posted online and people talking about their meta environments, people are just training for, like, the big events, trying to get promos and trying to get clout.
Right.
So because of that, everybody's like, this is the best deck. I'm playing the best deck. And so it definitely feels bad to play into what feels like a solved format, even though I don't think it's solved. I think there's a lot of really unexplored stuff that people aren't playing too much of. You know, like I have a bunch of decks that are very undertuned, but I think have lots of potential in the first set. But it doesn't matter now because we have a second set. And I'm going to be able to play with a bunch of other things, right, and be able to tune them even further. So it is cool. It is cool that now that we have all these new cards, people are forced to begin to explore, right? They're forced to go with, and people are still going to take the easy calls, right? You know, there's going to be lots of people playing all these throws across all of the symbols that have the throws, and people are going to be playing, you know, a bunch of these fire decks that play the Sugar Rush and all that stuff, you know, and just trying to Yahtzee you, totally, absolutely. But there will, I think, also be tons of decks that are just going to be very experimental. So I'm very hyped and humbled because we don't have an event until Vegas, right? Am I incorrect?
Right.
Which means
that's
true.
Right?
Yeah.
Which means that all of the experimentation is going to be very private, you know? Apart from like the weekly events that are online, like maybe posting what's doing well, but like because they're weeklies, people are by nature going to be experimenting. And I think a lot of the really meta like tuned decks are going to be private. So we're going to show up to a very unknown format in Vegas, and that's very exhilarating for me. Because
that's cool.
Those are the fun ones. You know, like I remember showing up to the Liu Kang Nats or showing up to the Cassandra Worlds and like having a deck that I thought people were not prepared for, and that it was a fun experience to like look at, you know, people you know, showing up and just didn't know what to do with my deck. And it wasn't because I wasn't being honest about it or I was hiding it. It's just they didn't know, you know, like it's word doesn't get around.
Yeah.
And the same thing here, you know, like at the first few tournaments we played at, I remember a lot of guys were complaining about how the format was taking too long, you know, about how, you know, people just weren't dying and so on and so forth. And then people adjusted, you know, after Kirishima was banned, aggro really opened up and we saw Denki win a regional. We saw Tokiyami win a regional, and then these Asuis who are like, you know, that's the premier control deck in the format now that Kirishima's gone, right?
Yeah, right.
But like even that we've seen turn 2 people like all over the place. It just happens, you know. So it's cool. It's cool. I'm happy that we have this second set to now experiment and have fun with. It's sick. I've been building lots and lots of decks, and it's been a lot of fun for sure.
Love it.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the buy list real quick that I just got to go live, by the way. Just yesterday.
Buy list.
Yeah.
Buy
I
list,
want your
buy
cards.
list.
I want your cards. And I'm not sure if it works, honestly. So you're gonna have to tell me. But so I can actually access it. I go to the buy list. I go down here. Of course, it only has Snapcaster Mage featured. Whatever. You go down to game. You hit Universus Singles. You hit your Rampage or whatever the heck else. You go to search. Oh, it screwed up. Whatever. And then it has all these cards you can sell to me. And I'm not sure exactly how it works, but let's say I wanted to sell XR Go for the Win. I can add this. I go to my buy list cart, and then, whoop, really? I hate that. My cart's empty. I don't know how this works, guys. I hate Crystal Commerce. Let's try this one more time. But why? Why isn't it?
Does anybody truly know how this works?
Did you guys see this? I went to buy list and it had 2. It has 2 up here, right?
Sign in, dude.
Yeah.
You think I have an account on my own website?
That's a good point, man.
I don't actually. I don't have an account on my website. I assume it works. I think it works out to store credit. But I'm excited for it because I want people to be able to buy the things they want. I want them to have fun with it, and I also would love to expand my inventory. My catalog, my inventory. Yeah, and I put lots and lots of stuff in. I want to buy all your cards, so sell me all your cards.
Are you buying sealed boxes? I'm getting a case here soon.
I'm not buying sealed boxes.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Yeah, I'm not buying sealed boxes because the rate that I would buy the sealed boxes is not going to be high enough. You should go sell on Facebook. All of these cards, you will, if you're selling them one at a time or something like that, go sell it on TCG Player, guys. I'm just trying to buy bulk. You know, if you have a bunch of extra XRs, sell those to me. I'm going to get them at a cheap rate, and we'll have fun. You know what I'm saying? And you can turn them into real things. Because I'm not going to give you a good rate. I'm going to give you 40% of what it should be worth. But the idea is that everybody has a bunch of extra shit, you know, lying around. And I'm trying to figure out, with Crystal Commerce,
There's an error
how to
on
buy
the
bulks.
buy list.
Slashing Whirlwind's only for
Whirlwind's
240. Yeah, that's correct.
Damdale knows what he has.
He knows what he has? That's too bad.
No low ballers.
Sell it on Facebook.
No low ballers.
Sell it on Facebook. Yeah, that's the buy list. It will be updated and all that stuff. If there's stuff that's, you know, too expensive right now, you know, like Slashing Whirlwind, do it right now. Sell them right now.
I love it.
Yeah, but yeah. It's something that I think is really important to a community and also to me because I want to have a big inventory and be able to sell things to people left and right. And Daniel's gonna make Slashing Whirlwind a $20 card, right?
Right.
Right.
I mean, that's what you tried to do with Pummel that one time.
Yeah,
so.
I sure made it happen, right?
I don't know. Did they go up?
They went up like 60 cents.
Fuck yeah, baby!
Well, Pummel went up. Actually, Pummel like tripled in price. It went to like $3.
Let's go.
Binding Cloth went up 60 cents.
That means you tripled the price. Easy game, baby. Easy game.
I think it was because I was talking about it, not because I played it, honestly.
I mean, it's a little bit but you showed conviction for your theory by playing it.
Yeah.
Right.
We can't just talk about Slashing Whirlwind. Someone's got to play Slashing Whirlwind, you know?
Love Slashing Whirlwind.
He did go 3-0 in the first set 2 event.
Unfun Fridays?
Unfun Fridays.
Yeah.
With
Unfun Fridays.
Slashing Whirlwinds. Sarah won, actually.
We love Sarah 1. We hate Slashing Whirlwind.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I actually like that card for what it's worth.
So speaking of memes, like Daniel making a really, really good card, really, really good, and knowing what he has, not asking for low ballers. Let's go into the memes, huh?
Yeah,
I'm into it.
Let's get that slideshow, gamers. Get this.
Let's get this bread.
All right, sorry, I need to widen the screen a bit. Let me know if you guys can see it properly. Everybody good?
Yeah, I think
So
so.
be good.
before we go into this, we're not going to have a provisional for a while, right? So I think for the next few weeks, I'm going to give you guys a mission, okay? And I'm going to also participate, okay? But I think for next week, and I'll reiterate at the end, I want to see Mineta memes. I want to see Linoko and Mineta memes. I think those are so funny, and that's going to be the theme for next week.
Tight.
But yeah, let's get into it. Remember, the rules are we're each going to pick our favorite one, and yeah, I break tiebreakers, I guess, because I'm the king of UFS. So
Okay,
this
Makes
is,
sense.
Lord Grimm has the Asui with tongue smack saying Muda 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 because the card is useless.
That one is powerful.
That's right, alliteration gaming. Did I make it Levi his own emote?
Take that.
Oh, he has a better unphonicorn than I do on his channel. Imagine that.
Yeah, that's actually pretty fucking funny.
That is pretty funny. And then we've got Crimson Riot, Crimson Rampage, Red Rampage.
I don't see
I didn't know that.
any of the memes anymore.
Oh
bud.
no! Where'd it go?
Yeah, we can't see anything.
You
Shucks.
tapped out.
I tapped out. Okay, let me make it happen again. Properties. Weird.
They sound funny though.
Damn.
I bet they're
Real
hilarious.
gut busters.
My
oh
bad, dude.
man,
I've screwed it all up.
That's good.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
No. There? I did it. All right, that's fine. I'll just do it this way.
Describe them to us.
I have to describe the memes? Yo, that would be sick, actually. I'm down. All right. So then we have the Crimson Riot one, right? Where it's Crimson Riot and Red Riot, and then Crimson Rampage and Red Rampage.
It's the wish.com.
It's the Witch.com for $8 version.
Wait, is that real? There's no way that's real.
I think it's real.
Is it really on
That's
Wish?
insane.
Probably. Everything's on Wish. Will you get it? No.
No.
I'll pay $8.
It looks
and open it up.
photoshopped. It looks photoshopped, but I don't know. It could be real. Then you got to clown on Bromley, of course, because I thought that the guy from that one show looked like the kid from Haikyuu. So now it's just every orange-haired character from an anime.
Is this Haikyuu?
I thought that was funny. I like that Lord Grimm.
Wish.com
Lord
wants you to
Grimm
log
gets a
in. That's
different
what
picture of my face every time. That shit's funny. My double provisional wind dreams died long ago. How many years ago? How old are you? That's funny. Welcome to Pro Play Tour, where the participation numbers are made up and release dates don't really matter. We've got a clown on all the guys. That one's
actually what a.
that's a
I
hot
don't know
one.
what I don't get it.
So today, George Mercado of Pro Play Games posted a thing where he said that here's the deck profile of this deck that went 19th out of 700 people. There were 354 people at the event. So what
The event was
happened?
capped at like 500 or something.
What happened was he saw 354, thought those were tables, so he doubled the number. Which is fine.
Nice.
He deserves to get clowned on. Okay, you earned it. It's okay, buddy.
That is funny.
Just take the clowning. It's okay. And then yeah, they did break street date. That is the other thing on that.
19th out of 300 and whatever, still pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He bubbled.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Don't clown on him for doing well. You clown on him for the funny meme.
That's true.
Yeah. And breaking street date is not cool, though. I will say that. I don't appreciate that.
I actively cannot read the one that is like very, very,
Oh,
very colored.
I can make it.
actively
I can make it bigger.
cannot
It
read that
says
one.
I block with plus ultra.
Oh, I have no idea why I can't read that one. I think it's just colorblind.
Yeah, it's colorblind. That one could have been improved, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Lord Grimm put so much effort into the GIF ones that this one can be.
Yeah, he puts a lot of effort into some of them. They can't all be zingers, you know.
Exactly.
Rude.
Continuing with Lord Grimm stuff, playing in my first provisional, it's nothing but Ochakos. And then this has got to be Linoko the bartender, right?
Yeah, it's Linoko the bartender.
The Froppy meta with provisional May 7th and 8th. Froppy meta. Froppy meta. Pre-release players over the weekend. This isn't even my final form. I don't quite get that one. Is that supposed to mean, like, my deck isn't complete, or like the character isn't actually what it looks like, kind of? Is that what that's saying?
Who knows?
I have no idea.
We just said they can't all be zingers.
That's fair.
Yeah.
These ones are good. I like my body as a shield, and the text is just Jose 1,000 times.
That's awesome. That's so good. Yeah.
And then do you have protection? And he puts Kamui Woods on the
Oh,
nightstand. No one will be hurting us, babe.
That's perfect.
That one's really good.
Here come the grannies. That's a good one
We have
too.
Asui being protected by Kamui Woods. And then the Asui slapping every other deck in the format. Which I think is very funny.
Including itself.
Including itself, yeah. Because mirror matches, right? Like James Mann did beat 2 mirror matches, by the way.
He actively edited the tongue over the hand too, and that is
Yeah. Oh my god, that is true. It is a tongue smack each time. A tongue lashing, you might say.
That is so fucking good.
A tongue whip. Yeah, and then we have poor Momo memes. The Momo memes are very funny. Oopsies. Why is Kirishima's coming back to dumpster? Oh, sweet, that's funny. That is very funny. You think you are better than us? I am. Huh. And then us with Kamui. I don't think James Mann was playing Kamui in his deck, guys. I don't think he was.
He simply was not. There's no way.
These were my memes for the week.
He had so many attacks. There's just no way he had.
They're not even memes. These are just funny pictures. I screenshotted Damn Deal during the disco party, where he had the 2 slashing whirlwinds in his glasses. Because the whole time he was just like, "Look at my slashing whirlwinds." It was very funny. And then I made this meme.
What's up with the guacamole?
It's power, dude. Guac is power. Jeb. It is just Jeb, yeah. This is the classic Jeb meme where he's just like, oh, he's just there. He's chilling with his guac. It's funny.
I got a song for you.
What's the song?
It's the guacamole song by Dr. Gene.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
Yes, you have. I'll send it to you. We can watch it at the end of the stream.
I'm down.
Sick.
Then yeah,
Is it a DMCA free song?
More clowning on Chris
knows?
Bromley, where I keep getting the names of all of her things wrong because it's called Tongue Smack, but I keep calling it Frog Smack.
Is this Frog Smack?
Yeah. I like this one. This one's good. Where it's Airy instead of Roll. Is that Roll? Is that her name?
That's Roll, yeah.
Thanks for winning me the match. Rival hitting 3 back-to-back 3 checks. That's funny. I think he made that immediately after getting yeah, immediately after getting dumped on. Actually, like I think he lost in the final. Then don't forget the lube. That is an advice for the winner. That is true. That is a thing you could say to a winner. Then Devin Bernier, me, you're a bad Staff Strike meme card. Bromley, boo, get better material. Me, no memes, dick jokes. Classic. And then he threw hands with a 17-year-old eraser head. I like that he drew the fucking scarf and hair on him. How funny. I don't even understand it. What is this in reaction to? Was this him playing against, like...
I think this is him playing as Eraserhead in the event, fighting a bunch of students, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair.
Like
that's
his
fair.
character is a grown-ass adult.
He beats the shit. Yeah, that's true. He's one of the few.
It's not just a bunch of 17-year-olds.
Then Mayonesa, our boy Zach. Imagine, if you will, rulings being way more complicated than necessary. You have entered the transit, so... That's good. That's a good one. And then I was shocked when I first met Batata. He was 7 feet tall and jacked. His first words to me were, "Did you ready amphibious?" I had barely stammered out, "What?" before he landed left hook. He beat the fuck out of me in 4 or 5 turns and went back to not having any fun. This was a very short-lived meme, but there was that day, for context, and people in chat, I missed one of yours? Oh, DM it to me right now. But there was that video where someone watched Jose's final against James Mann in the regional, and just had everything wrong, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And people were clowning. But you know what?
What?
Clicks are clicks, regardless of whether they're clowning on you or they're not clowning on you, right?
That's true.
I was gonna watch that and I just didn't. Someone was like, "Yeah, they just don't know," and I was like, "I'm good then."
Then Lenoco only put one up, and it was these hands, buy one get one free.
Okay, aggressive.
Oh my god. Wait, hang on. Oh, definitely not a bot. Had another one. I gotta add it. Oh, this was, yeah, I did miss this. I think what happened is it actually didn't get saved to this board. He posted the damn deal meme.
Oh my goodness.
He posted the damn deal meme and slammed his face on it with the four.
That's perfect.
Four
with the copy
slashing.
pasta.
Yeah, with the copy pasta.
Wow.
In it. Which, yeah, I happened to pull 1 slashing whirlwind XR, 3 slashing world URs. An incredible card that was instrumental to the 3-0 victory in one of the first ever Set 2 tournaments at Unfun Stuff. While I never in normal circumstances would ever even consider parting from a meta-defining card like Slashing Whirlwind, I've fallen on tough times. I may be convinced to part with my Slashing Whirlwinds at a price, but I know what I have. Taking open offers in my DM. Serious inquiries only, please.
That's
so
beautiful.
The funniest thing about this, Dan, I don't know if you got offers for like your cards, but I posted about my Mina UR. I posted about the corrosion breach. I did the same meme, but I went 03 in it, and I talked about my 1 XR corrosion breach and my 3 regular ones, and people messaged me asking for slashing whirlwinds. And I was like, dude, I didn't.
But do you have slashing whirlwinds?
No, it was just, and I was like, yeah, you can go to my website. I actually have 4 in stock right now. And then they sold.
And then they sold to you. You rolled Damsel? Did you give it the thing?
Well, that's because Damsel is only taking serious inquiries only, and Bromleys are probably $5 a piece.
I think they're like $6-7, something like that. Yeah, damn deal.
That's fair.
Here's the original copy pasta. It was excellent. It was wonderful. I am once again asking if anybody wants some slashing whirlwinds. I receive literally any other UR. You receive slashing whirlwind. Everyone's first response to this one, hey, dude, you want some Yaz? And Dan was like, anything but yeah.
Hey, man, you want some Yaz?
You want some Yaz? Love that. Love that.
I'd be so sad pulling that, I think.
Jacob Missour says, invincible clasp should have been a 2-4, and then Jose responded with the JoJo's beating the shit out of the guy meme, and then he said the anti-nightmareness is real, and then I posted the same meme. and then Colby Cram replied, we call this Floridian street justice.
That's beautiful.
And then he put, oh, is this just, I think it's not the full-size one. It's supposed to be, damn, that's okay. I messed it up. But, it's the struggling with studies, and it's Jacob Missour, and he just changed it. If your character isn't Nomu, forget what your character does. Just don't actually give this attack damage. And then response, when you don't block this attack, commit 1 foundation, take 6 damage, forget you're not playing Nomu, then take all the damage, you scrub.
Damn.
Which I understand, Jacob. It'd be like that sometimes. Sometimes you just get used to playing a guy for so long you forget how to play other characters. Or if you're like me, you learn playing one character and then your entire way of playing the game just gets completely warped, and you can't play anything else ever again. Nova gave us advice for winners, but this, don't ever do this. I think it should be a game lost for future events, but shrug. What is this in this context? Could be anything, right?
It could be.
Could be anything.
Yeah. And then, we're clowning about the 19th out of 700. He looks at 354. I'll ignore that. Good stuff, good stuff. And Cardstark, my local, David, posts, I've only had creepy realization for a day and a half, but if anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Momo combos are a creepy realization. No.
I think this is his only meme. This was actually Lord Grimm's, but it is funny. I posted it twice by accident.
It's so good. We should watch it twice.
It is so good. All right. So does everybody have their meme of the week?
Yeah.
Yes.
You want me
very
to go,
much so.
want me to go through it again?
I think I'm pretty set on which one I like.
You're good.
the
I'll go
most.
through it.
Also pretty settled.
All right. Cool. Hit me with it. What's your favorite one, Phil?
It's the tongue smack fucking useless one.
Oh, the Muda one. It's really good. There's so many tongues. So many tongues.
It's so good, man.
All right, Dan. What's yours?
It's definitely the Indiana Jones one. Like Momo doing all this crazy
Oh yeah,
bullshit with their
flipping,
weapon.
flipping it around.
Shoots her. Bop. It's like, the only way that could have been better is if it was creepy, right? Creepy was the gun.
That one is really good. That was really funny.
I have to vote for the damn deal meme in the advice for winners column one because that was so funny in the moment. But you got 2 votes for Lord Grimm, so we'll give it to Lord Grimm for the week. 2-time back to back.
Lord Grimm is just the best at making GIF memes, guys. And if there's anything we love, it's a good GIF meme.
A good gift meme. Yeah, it's true. I mean, you got to step up the game. Maybe we'll, we don't want to make people have to make GIF memes. So next week we'll say that the GIF memes are appreciated but can't win. Okay, can't win this
next
time.
week we just say that Lord Grimm can't win, but we still appreciate his.
No, he can still win. He can still win.
Oh God, he's just gonna sweep. Probably.
He's gonna sweep.
Gonna win.
He's so good at it. It is
His
true.
memes are too good.
He's powerful. That just means it means everyone else has to step up their game, dog.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, they got to step up.
There were
their
some
game.
close ones.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know if they were the My Body is a Shield one also Lord Grimm.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he was destined to win.
Yeah.
He also
Yeah, for
submits,
sure.
I like
he also
Jacob's
submits
memes.
He submits 20 memes a week, so like.
Yeah. Through
like,
sheer volume, right?
through sheer volume, he's got some.
Well,
zingers,
I mean,
so.
there was the first few weeks where Jacob Masseur was rivaling him in terms of
That's
volume.
true. That's true.
But it's okay. This time we got themes. Okay, this next week, so I got to put that in the. We got to put the Hall of Memers.
I loved it. I did like the Body as a Shield one and the protection where he put the cowboy wins on the table.
Texture one was my second fave.
If I had to not pick like a GIF, I would have picked the condom one or the protection one. I mean.
So actually,
that's where I'm at.
the tongue smack JoJo one was the very first meme of the week.
I know. I saw it last week. I remembered it when you put it on here, and I was like, man, that's fucking good.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Just the amount of effort it took to get all of those tongues to move with the fists. Our memes must have themes. Next week, Moneta themes. This week we had a lot of Asui memes. We love it. Next week, Moneta themes for the off week.
Yeah. Next week is Mineta week. Okay, so I want to see lots of Mineta stuff. I will kick it off. I will have some Mineta memes made up. But we want to see Mineta 1 memes, Mineta 2 memes, Mineta from the show memes, just Mineta stuff. Mineta stuff. You heard Mineta is the new Cassandra?
Holy shit.
Is that just
Who
because
told you that?
Mark Tyner's playing it? Because he is certainly not Cassandra.
No, he's fucked up. He's like Jeddah, though.
He is like Jeddah.
He's not.
No, you're right.
Quite.
He is technically better than Jeddah on his own turn and worse than Jeddah on his opponent's turn.
Yes. Yeah. I certainly think that Mineta is like gonna clown on casual play and make it super insufferable to play like regular UFS, but he's also going to get clowned on by people playing unfair UFS. So
I hate fair UFS.
yeah. And it takes forever, right? Like it's like the Todoroki thing where you can just like disrespect his offense because he like tops out at 12. Since he's playing every 5 difficulty attack, it's pretty cringe.
Fuck, dude. My casual deck, I figured out my casual deck for the tournaments, guys. I'm playing this Midoriya deck. That's casual as fuck.
Do it. Do it. Build the Midoriya deck. Build it.
My one caveat to this is I think I have to go buy the SR from the first. But that's okay. We'll figure that out when we get to it.
What a goof.
Right.
What a gaff.
I'll eventually get full cowlings, right? This card's not $100, right? It's like 20 a piece.
I think
Right,
it's like,
guys?
isn't it like 50 a piece?
Oh, there's no way.
Brutal.
There's just no. Oh my god! Why is it? All right. Well, just kidding. We're not playing that in our deck. Fuck that shit. It's not that good. This card is not $40 good.
That's not 50. It's not 50. I thought
These
it was
are
50.
these are the unlimited ones. I thought for sure unlimited $20. Damn, what the fuck is Nitro Ignition going for then?
It was at 30 for a while. I know that.
Oh, like it's about the same. It's like 35.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's. I think it's seen more play than.
Yeah.
But you know, protagonist buff.
Yeah, it does have protagonist energy.
Yeah.
Man, I fucking love that card so much.
But that's pretty much it for the podcast, though, guys. You got any last things you want to shout out? Tam, you have that video?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dr. T's Banana Dance.
Yeah, why don't you
Banana
talk to us?
dance.
Oh yeah, first of all, do that thing. But also, what's going on with you, Tamren Cardwell? You know, why don't you tell us a little bit about your happenings? Assuming you're allowed to.
I got stuff popping off, you know? Making videos every day, working too much, you know? I just had to record a YouTube video, and I hated it. I couldn't stand it. I've decided I don't like recorded content. I like this live stream type of stuff, but like sitting alone in my basement, staring at a camera, being like, well, hello guys, you're here to talk about my... I can't stand it. I just don't like it.
Interesting.
It's tough.
Was that the one you're getting paid to do, by the way?
Yeah. And
Damn.
I'm sitting there and I'm talking to the editors for the video, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna pretend like I'm talking to you guys, and you guys don't know what the heck's going on. So
How many minutes of stuff do you have to make for them in a week?
it's like 5 to 10.
Okay. And can you talk about it yet? Is that a thing you can talk about here?
I can't talk. I mean, I've partnered with Channel Fireball to make videos for them about My Hero stuff. I can't get in, like, real specifics, but it's just like, you know,
Sure.
they're like the Walmart of card games, right? They're like really, really big. Everybody knows them.
Yeah.
And so the fact of like putting out a couple of videos for My Heroes is going to get more people into the community, and it'll get more people into this show, the podcast, and all of that.
Totally.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want you to
Yeah.
talk about the specifics. I just didn't know if you could tell people you were working with Channel Fireball. I was dancing around it. Yeah, I was dancing.
Yeah, we
around
were.
Yeah.
We were poking around to see if sponsored player Tamren Cardwell was allowed to
Yeah.
discuss his.
I was when you came to me, I was like, "That's my boy. That's my boy. Look at him. He's all grown up."
My first thought was, I wonder if he could still be sponsored.
I'm assuming he can.
Because it was like 4 minutes after
That is true. It happened immediately. Oh my.
And that's how you know the show's over. I feel like I have to do like the play us out instead of playing us in, because I just never was like, welcome to another episode. Thank you for watching another episode of Brewing with Birch and Bromley, where we had special guest Tamren Cardwell of Unfun Stuff and Channel Fireball, apparently.
That's true.
Beautiful time, gentlemen. I had a lot of fun. I'm gonna go and build this Midoriya deck instead of doing Tabletop Simulator belt.
Tight.
I'm gonna fix my thingy. Thanks for hanging out, boys. Yeah. Okay. So actually, this will probably be the last week of Tabletop Simulator belt on this channel. What I'm gonna do is set up the Unfun Stuff 2 channel with so that we can do it concurrently, or at very least right when this ends, we'll just swap over to that other channel.
Sure.
Because I need to start prepping to let that thing do it on its own, because I'm not gonna have time to run it.
Yeah.
Soon.
That's fair.
I will still do it tonight on this channel, of course. I'm here for it. Love to watch games. I am very tired, so I probably won't hang around for too long, but I'll watch 1 or 2 games. And but like, yeah, starting next week, I'm gonna set it up on the other channel, and we'll just start whenever people want to, whenever we start, you know, and then I'll just have the bot, right, hang out in the chat so you can hear the people talking while they play, instead of commentary, which is cool and fine. And then we can also put those up later on. But yeah, give me a couple minutes, let these guys get off and go get their dinners, just like that. Thanks for hanging out, Tam. Love you, buddy. You're incredible.
Do you need somebody to help you with TTS?
If you want to hang out, you can hang out, but I'm not gonna force you guys to hang out. And yeah, Phil, thanks for chilling, dude. Love you, buddy.
Absolutely.
I'll see you this weekend.
Absolutely. Love you, dudes. Yeah, for the wedding.
for the wedding.
See you, dude.